can hear you good.
Thank you,
Loud and
testing.
clear, buddy.
Loud and clear.
Yeah. How have you been? How was the week?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
Been tired, getting ready for school, stuff like that.
That's what we want. That's exactly the kind
We're
of
gonna
phrasing we
succeed.
want. Just when we start a 1 hour podcast.
Yeah, just
I'm
a 1 hour
tired.
podcast. I'm tired, dude. I'm exhausted right now, bro.
Yeah. I have to say that we're today joined by your lovely wife.
Yeah, she's not gonna
who's
say
off
anything.
to the camera, not really in the shot, but who's been
You might hear her giggle a little bit.
if your jokes are up to par for sure.
Oh, she laughs at everything I say.
Yeah.
I'm like, blue. And she's just
She would
like,
laugh. Yeah, I think that speaks to her.
yeah,
Accommodation of your really sometimes not funny jokes.
yeah. They're not. They're not
Some of
funny
them
at
are
all.
good though.
Yeah, so I got some criticism for our last episode from my mother.
Okay. I my understanding was her feedback was largely positive though.
Yeah, largely positive.
Yeah.
I did ruin Karate Kid for her. She said she'll never watch it again.
Okay.
So that's
She and
great.
I have a lot in common in that regard.
And then she told me I swear too much.
You swore too much.
Swear too much, sir.
Yeah.
I drop the F-bombs quite a bit, apparently. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do my best to keep it in check, but
Yeah.
can't make any guarantees because once I get into conversation,
Yes.
I just Hiroshima the F-bombs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It doesn't take away from your intellectual capital for me, as far as
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
concerned.
Well, I'm
In
pretty
fact,
sure.
it tells me how empathic you are about the topic, and I'm like, okay, maybe I need to delve into this a little more. So I like your F-bombs. Your French is a good indicator
it
of
accentuates my
commitment.
passion sir,
It does.
for the topic.
Yeah. And there are studies that actually show it might be a positive reinforcement. You
It
know?
is
Yeah,
for me
it is.
inside, on the inside.
But we have to say it's been largely positive, the kind of feedback from people.
Not. Well, I mean, we haven't had that many people listen to it, but like from the people who have, like, oh my god, dude, like Skylar, she was just fucking rolling at work listening to it.
Yeah, there's the F-bomb, which
Yeah.
dear
I
Chris
didn't
was
even
attempting
notice.
to avoid.
See, I didn't even notice. It just happens. It's part
Skylar
of it.
was is a colleague. We should explain of ours at work who was pretty empathic about the way she liked the podcast.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she
Yeah.
genuinely liked it. Like, because unprompted, I mean, I don't think I'm that funny to where it
Yeah.
warrants that much laughter.
Mm-hmm.
But she was laughing pretty
Yeah.
hysterically.
Who else who else in your family was happy about it?
Actually, Dylan listened to it.
He did.
Yeah, he called me on Tuesday, and we talked
Yeah.
about it.
I should qualify. Dylan is actually the infamous Dylan Passage from
Tiger King.
Tiger King.
Yeah, Joe's, I think, don't quote me on this, third husband. I think it's his third husband, but yeah.
Who happens to be your brother?
Yeah, he's my brother. So
Yeah.
by proxy, Joe was my brother-in-law. They're divorced now, though. The divorce has been finalized, so
Yeah.
it's good for Dylan. He's moved on.
And I'm sure we're going to get into the life of Dylan Passage and how it was growing up with him someday.
Yeah. He said he'd be down in the fall, so maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe if he's down, we can get him on.
Yeah.
Get it set up for a third person.
Yeah. And for me, one of the things that I'm looking forward to having a conversation is because of the difference in our backgrounds.
Oh yeah.
Especially because for me, until I was like 18, gay was like a what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not just because I grew up in
Yeah.
a Coptic Orthodox,
Yeah.
pretty conservative culture, and then being in Africa, it's like throw 'em from the roof kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? Like it's not like there's no liberal thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would really want to know how we ended up.
Well, yeah, it's like, and here's another thing.
Yeah.
So like me and Dylan, same background,
Yeah.
totally two different people.
Hmm.
So we had the exact same upbringing, but
Hmm.
we turned out entirely different.
Yeah. Is this why you would say maybe your worldview about the culture war right now, especially like transgender rights? Do you think that is informed by how you grew up with Dylan? Do you think? Do you see any
No,
parallels
I mean,
in that?
I didn't care that Dylan was gay. I knew
Yeah.
Dylan was gay from Jump Street.
Yeah.
Man. Like, it's like, look at him. It's gay.
Yeah.
I was like, it didn't bother me. And one of my best friends from high school is gay. I don't care.
Yeah. So when you see like a Bud Light with a Dylan Mulvaney's face, you're like, chug, chug, chug.
Well, no, I don't think
Yeah.
Dylan Mulvaney's genuine, to be
Yeah.
honest. If you look back through his history, like even before
Hmm.
internet stuff, he's been trying to get famous forever. Like he's gone on all these TV shows. He was on The Price is Right, and he acts the same way that he does now. But like but he's never gotten the fame. He's wanted to be famous for his entire life. Like if you follow him, his internet journey, he started off on TikTok doing animal videos. And then he went from animal videos to doing videos about the theater because he's also in the music theater and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And none of that stuff took off. And so then he's like, well, I'm a gay man, so let me do gay man culture videos. So you do that, and then nothing, no hits, because being gay isn't that much of a trend nowadays. It's just like, another gay guy.
Yeah.
No one cares. But then he does day one of being a girl, where he does this super caricaturish version of what a girl is. He's like, I cried irrationally 4 times today. I sent a scathing email to a company that I'm not going to send. I bought 4 outfits that I'm going to return, stuff like that. It's like, that's a very caricaturous version of what a woman is. So I thought it was satire at first. I was like, it's kind of funny. And then it blew up, so he has to keep one-upping himself. And now we get to 365 days of Dylan Mulvaney being a woman and widely celebrated. It's like, 1 year, dude? My mom's been a woman for 50 fucking years.
Yeah.
Where's her big celebration, huh?
Yeah.
Why isn't New York renting out a stadium for her? It's like, you see the ridiculousness of this?
Yeah.
Like, I can't knock him on his grift because he's making money. He's making money moves. But he does the equivalent of what I think is, he does woman face, which I think is the equivalent of blackface, pretty much, because I don't think it's genuine. And and if you look through the history of it, it's not. Like, come on, man. He was going out in nature with hiking heels. I don't know women who wear heels on the regular period. So it's like, hiking heels? That's ridiculous. And he frolics. I've never seen any person frolic.
Yeah.
Nobody does that.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me because right now everybody understands, especially people in the space of social media.
Yeah.
Our attention is the capital. That's what drives the whole thing. So doing something outlandish and garnering attention is the goal.
Yeah.
And the only reason I started off with your background, having been raised in a family with an openly gay kid, and you being an open-minded guy, as far as I know, is just to show that the backlash against this Dylan Mulvaney guy is founded. You can clearly see the guy.
Well, I mean, I got some statistics.
You got statistics?
Well, I did. You know, it's the numbers for it, because people were saying that the Bud Light boycott wasn't working at all. It's like, well, I was like, well, let's wait for everything to come out. Well, like their stock has gone back up. But, like, we gotta wait for the sales report.
Correct.
You gotta wait for the sales report. So they come here.
And as a man that trades, sometimes I can tell you stocks does not reflect the facts on the ground.
No.
Rarely do.
Because this is gonna, especially now, because the stocks might start dropping after the sales reports come out. But 17 to 25% loss in sales. We'll even go to the low end. 17% on sales in a month. That's huge, man. Yeah. That's a huge loss. And it doesn't seem like this is going away. So the sales are just going to keep dropping. And then Miller and Coors are both up 18%.
Correct.
Both up 18%.
Yeah, they seem to have lost a significant portion of their market.
And the thing is, they don't even have to advertise. Miller and Coors are saving money on advertising because they don't even need to put out commercials because Bud Light's done all the work for them.
Yeah, and that significant slash in their sales shows you the backlash is not from a specific demography, which is like just the conservatives and like middle America warring against a specific brand. No, it seems to be from coast to coast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's everywhere. So like we went to San Antonio.
Yeah.
And
which I should say is a slightly low, like Austin-ish liberal kind of city.
Yeah, it is. And we went to we were at the hotel bar, and then we went to another bar.
Yeah.
Me and my wife. And
Good.
the
You should
Bud
qualify
Light-
always when you
Yes,
who
me
you
and my
went to the
wife,
bar
I
with.
wasn't with anybody else.
Okay.
I swear.
Yeah.
All the Bud Light was fully stocked. All the other beer was gone.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And I've seen
On the
TikToks of
on the Riverwalk, man.
where
people are just
where
trying to
we
get
should
drunk.
say beers run out like
Yeah.
pretty early.
Yeah.
'Cause
Like
people drink a lot.
the cooler
Yeah.
was full. They couldn't give the stuff away, man.
What do you think this speaks to though? Like well, you and I have talked about trans rights before,
Yeah.
and my understanding, you tend to lean more conservative, centrist, and I seem to be more
yeah.
progressive. But even I am cognizant of the sort of this. It's
Well-
like almost suffocating right now.
Well,
How
like,
much
for
we're
one,
talking
like,
about these, right?
What do you mean by trans rights? What rights do they have that I don't have
Well,
as a straight white man?
Well, precisely. Like I'm only using like
Yeah.
the colloquial term.
Yeah.
Just
Like that's the thing. They're fighting for trans. Like what can I do that they can't do? If it's be criticized, everybody can be criticized. No one has the right to not be criticized. Nobody has that right. If you put yourself on the public space like I'm doing right now,
yeah,
I know I'm gonna be criticized.
like
I know-
accountable for what
absolutely
you're
know,
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sticking to my guns. I know this is not the politically correct opinion to have. I should just put my head down and go along with whatever they tell me.
Mhm.
But no.
Well, just for me to understand though your position, you're not saying you can't be a trans person and be like a member of society.
Oh,
you're
no,
you're not
absolutely not, yeah.
objecting to
No.
someone being trans
No.
or making that claim.
Well, I mean, it's just like acting like everybody's oppressed, like in today's society.
Mm.
Like why? Like for one, why would you want to be? Why would you constantly want to say you're oppressed? That's not a good thing.
No.
No. And for one, who's oppressing you? If it's just by my existence, sorry.
Yeah.
Like if my existence oppresses you,
Yeah.
but it's I don't.
No, I get you.
really don't know what to say to it.
I'm slightly worried about this pendulum swinging the other way now, because you know how you have like a sympathy
Yeah.
fatigue. It's almost like we've heard about you being oppressed for so long.
Yeah.
Anybody with any claims of gender dysphoria will
Yeah.
disregard 100%.
Well, and it's like,
That's what I'm concerned about.
If you look at this, right,
Yeah.
this stuff just blew up, almost overnight,
Mm.
where everybody's trans,
Yeah.
and it's like, but if you look at this now, because people the way it is, and like young girls have been developing this on TikTok.
Mm.
They watch these popular TikTokers with Tourette's, and now they're starting to
I've heard
develop
about that
Tourette's.
too,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're starting to develop Tourette's.
Yeah.
It's like, how?
Yeah.
It's a psychological thing.
Correct. There's
So
no
it's
there's
like-
no organic
Yeah,
problem
there's
with
no
your brain.
organic, like,
Yeah.
The girls who have getting Tourette, it's not contagious, dude.
No.
It's not a thing that can be passed from one person to another.
I've
like
actually
that.
studied the article they wrote about that.
Yeah,
it's fascinating
It's
actually.
yeah, I know. I looked into it too. I was like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So, anyways, back to the Bud Light thing,
Yeah.
man. So, yes, the stock is up, 0.74%.
Yeah, I usually
And
I've learned
then-
to
and
disregard
then-
the stock. Yeah.
And then riddle me this, Teddy.
Mhm. Yeah.
If this did not hurt Bud Light, then why did they fire Alyssa Heinerscheid? Why did they fire her? She was the VP who hired Dylan Mulvaney.
Correct. And
And then
vocal about that
Yeah,
specific ad
yes.
where she was like,
Yes, she was very
we need to
vocal
move
about it.
away from that fratty
Yeah.
culture. Yeah.
exactly.
Mm.
And then they fired the person who hired her. So that's two. It's like, how's that not it? And then when Bud Light went to Twitter,
Mhm.
all they put out 4 letters,
I didn't know about that.
and they got ratioed. They put TGIF ?
Mhm.
And got ratioed into oblivion. Now, if you don't know what ratioing is, do
I
you
don't
what
know.
ratioing
Is that a
Okay.
technical term
So
for
that means
downvoting?
there's more comments
Oh.
than
Likes.
likes.
Okay.
So therefore, not they had like 1,000 likes, and then it had like 40,000 comments. So it was ratioed into oblivion.
That's super interesting to me.
Yeah. So that means that's not a good thing. Being ratioed is not a good thing. That means more people are talking about it. And it's all negative. They're just getting drugs. I mean, look, like everybody's been pulling Bud Light from their tour
Yeah.
buses.
Yeah.
Their,
I would caution against taking the sentiment on Twitter
yeah.
to represent the whole country.
Well,
However,
I think
but the
it's
sales speak more. Right? I would
okay.
say.
Well, yes, the sales do absolutely
Yeah.
speak more.
Yeah.
But I think more so now, Twitter means more than it ever has. Because I don't think it's garnering the same censorship as it has in the past. More people are allowed to speak vocally than they ever have been able to on Twitter.
Yeah, I would say that too. Yeah.
So I think it has more strength in the argument now than it ever has, because Elon's done such a drastic thing to get rid of like the bot accounts. Because that was what was making a lot of popular Twitter people famous.
Yeah.
Because like as soon as Elon bought Twitter and he wanted to know what was buying Twitter, and there was he wanted inquiries on everything.
The Twitter
all
files.
of a sudden, a lot of people lost like 40,000 followers like overnight. And it's like, did they just turn the bots off?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we don't know for sure, but it's suspect.
He's spoken about this. They have tamped down a lot of bots. However, it's nearly impossible to get rid of. The bots off the platform.
It's the technology. For one, the technology is not there, and then once the technology does get there, it's gonna be easy to circumvent it because people have equally strong technology. So
it's interesting.
It's gonna be a constant war with bots.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that's where we're headed.
Yeah.
I'm glad you clarified your position on the Dylan Mulvaney stuff. I because if people heard just 1 minute of your argument, it's super easy to just call you.
I'm a bigot and a transphobe.
And I know that's not the case
No,
because we've had in-depth conversations about this issue.
it's really not. It's like, well, I think another thing is like it's been pushed down our throats for like the past 5 years, like with like Leah Thomas. It's like, come on, dude. The guy just grew his hair out long and competed and just destroyed. That's brutal, man.
I don't know her name, but one of his teammates,
Riley,
blonde girl.
Yeah, I know. Her name's Riley.
She's the one that's been the most vocal, I believe.
Yeah, because she would have won.
Correct.
She would have won.
Yeah,
she
for sure.
She worked her entire life for that.
Yeah.
And then this guy who was 200th best swimmer comes in and just crushes all these women's dreams in one swim meet. And then on top of that, they have to change in the same room as him.
That is what caught me off guard, because that description of that visceral reaction she had when Leah walked in to the changing room. Yeah. And you can clearly see from her description of things, you can understand they were attempting to be accommodating of the whole situation.
Yeah.
But then he took his pants off. I'm sorry, she took her pants off. And according to that lady's description, she was like, it's like a full-blown dude.
Yeah.
And the instinctual reaction was to cover up.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily see that when women are together.
Yeah.
It's just, this is a visceral reaction to, and I find myself caught between two worldviews right now, where I want to be a progressive who says, let everyone be, to each their own.
Yeah.
But what is that line? What is that line that we need to draw?
I'm on the same mindset, but I'm to each his own until you're infringing upon someone else's rights.
Correct.
And that's their right to privacy, that we put civil rights in place for women for that. So they have their own spaces. And now that's being encroached.
Yeah.
And
I think it speaks to, so what should the standard be at the end of the day, right?
I honestly don't have an idea, but it's women's sports should be female, because they want to conflate sex and gender. That's the same thing. Mm-hmm. First off, you said they're not, and now you're saying that they are. They're absolutely not. So female, XX chromosome. Mm-hmm. Bam. Female sports, male sports. They even did this, man. Trans male team, right? Mm-hmm. So females to man. They went out. They had a soccer team. They got absolutely fucking crushed. Absolutely crushed.
Yeah. It speaks to
destroyed.
It speaks to the advantage testosterone will give you.
It's not even close, man.
Yeah.
When the women's soccer team like the Australian women's soccer team for like the Olympics.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we can beat any male team. They got crushed by a group of 15-year-old boys. 15-year-old boys.
I'd be curious to hear the argument against someone who is in support of male to female transgender people partaking in a female sport. I would want to really hear like their well articulated, mature, most mature version of their argument. But for me, it seems from a medical perspective, testosterone seems to give you an unfair advantage.
Oh, it absolutely does.
So I think the arbiter should be the medical science. I would say
like we got bigger wingspan, we got bigger lung capacity.
Yeah.
Not speaking for myself because I have asthma, but as males,
you do terrible on the women's sports.
We have more bone density. We have more bone density.
Correct.
I mean, we're just physically stronger. Prenatal testosterone.
Yeah.
Is a big factor. Doesn't matter when. And like you can see the collapse of this stuff because they don't want to acknowledge detransitioners. But detransitioners have become more vocal, and some people who wish they'd never transitioned. It's like because they were pressured by society to do so.
I would try. I try to be maybe not the devil's advocate to not use a non-political term, but I want to empathize and say I want to put myself in a person that is typically suffering from a gender dysphoria or not, and feeling like I was born in the wrong body.
Yeah, but
would you not say they have the right?
I think they need. I wish them 100% well, and I wish they can get the medical care that they need. I don't think gender affirming surgery is the way to go for most people, because I don't think that's the issue. Like, if you think that you're not, like in the right body, then I think that's gender dysphoria is a mental issue. Like, so I mean, it needs to be treated. I don't know what the process of treating that is.
Yeah.
Because I'm ignorant to that, so I don't know where that treatment goes. Like what medications, or if there is medications or therapy or whatever that needs to be done. But I mean, I wish them help.
Yeah. But you're speaking, assuming that almost every claim of feeling like you're in the wrong body is a gender dysphoria, you'd say?
I feel
because
some of it I think is, I don't know the percentage.
Me neither.
Like I think it's trendy to say that you're trans for being a young
There's
kid.
Definitely that.
So I think that's part of it. They call it trans trenders. Like that's
like queer baiting. I've heard that term too.
Yeah. So it's like the femboy thing, right? Yeah, being a really effeminate man. But it's
so the only thing I would caution against maybe while having this discussion is, and I've raised this issue to you before, and you've of course recognized it, which is in nature having somebody like with a Klinefelter syndrome, right, where you have an XXY, a male born with an extra X chromosome, and that's like a genotypical makeup.
But that's like 0.01%.
Correct. What I'm saying is it's a non-zero. In fact, I think
it is
if I remember correctly, it's 250,000 people in America.
Yeah.
So it's a non-zero.
Yeah, it is a non-zero number. I agree with
But
you.
what you don't hear, and this speaks to your position, is you don't hear Klinefelter people going out there saying, you know,
I have
my team.
I have an extra chromosome. No. Like everybody, like this is such a minority, but everybody has to change the way society works.
Correct.
Like society needs to restructure around this group of people. Why?
That's a fair comment.
That's just my argument. It's like I have to, because in California now they pass laws you can't misgender someone, you can get fined or get jail time,
like dead naming and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's insane.
That's insane.
Yeah. And if the progressives is such a minority though, why is everything being dictated though towards that kind of ideology? I don't get it. Like,
well, they're not though. They're the progressives are the majority in the country now. It's
progressives are the majority.
Yeah. Conservatives are like 20 to 30%, and then I think progressives are like in the 40 percentile, and then the rest is like centrists, libertarians.
I don't know if you've seen this interview of two, I believe they're the mothers of these two children. and they were sort of describing. I think it was with who's the guy that now has the show on Apple, Jon Stewart.
Oh yeah, Jon Stewart. Yeah.
What's wrong with Jon Stewart or whatever?
Yeah.
What the problem is Jon Stewart? I think that's his new
Yeah.
show. He seems to be a reasonable guy. I think you would agree.
No, not
No?
Jon Stewart. No, no, he's a grifter, man.
Yeah.
Like if you look at him, he'll bring on people
Mm-hmm.
who are uneducated in the topic to debate them, and because they're uneducated in the topic or they're not well versed in the topic that he wants to talk about, he seems smarter than they are.
So like almost like a
So it's disingenuous.
yeah.
He's not. He brings in like these are people in the field, but they're not. They're for one, they're not good.
They're
at
not
speaking.
experts. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not experts. They're not good at debate.
Articulating. Yeah.
Yeah,
You need to
they're
be in
not
that
good
kind
at
of environment too.
articulating their
Yeah.
arguments.
Yeah.
So it's very disingenuous, and he handpicks these people, or his people handpick these people.
And people in show business are known to do that. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know if I've
so-
seen enough shows to comment like that. But I'll take your word for
I've
it.
seen like he brought in a guy like most recently was one I watched was he brought in somebody on firearms.
Mm-hmm.
And like the guy, he works for like the ATF or something like that, but
Okay.
he couldn't articulate his argument well.
Is that the guy he was berating about
Yeah,
children? You don't
Yeah.
want to take guns away, but
yeah,
was that the one?
yeah.
Could be, yeah.
See, like the guy, like he was sweaty. he didn't know what he was. He
Yeah.
was like on the spot. He didn't know what to do.
Barely a representative.
Yeah,
you'd say.
barely.
Yeah.
Barely a representative.
That's
Yeah.
the word of the day.
Yeah.
Every day.
But like, so I used to like Jon Stewart back in the day.
Yeah.
Like when he did the Daily Show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I loved it. Thought it was awesome.
You've gone woke, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but I mean, look if you look at like what's his fucking name?
Tucker?
He was another
Daytime.
no, nighttime.
Currently active or
Currently active, but he used to be progressive and now he's not.
I don't know.
Um,
Jon Stewart?
No,
It's
not
the one we're talking about.
yeah,
There's so many Stewarts.
yeah. It's not Jon Stewart though.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah, if we're blanking on it, we're not gonna. Are you gonna Google him right now,
Yeah,
real
I'm
quick?
Googling.
Is that why you brought your tablet today?
Shh. No, because I have information.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
But before I forget, I do want to tell you
I don't know.
when I try and empathize with people's position,
Yeah,
I try to listen to people, right? Like
yeah,
real people, and I try to gauge. I know this is purely anecdotal, and it doesn't really pass off as like, to represent like the overall majority. But I try to listen to people and like listen to their intonation, their cadence, their delivery.
yeah.
Are they genuine in what they're saying?
Yeah.
And these two mothers, they were describing their relationship with their children, who have since transitioned. Is my understanding, and you can see in one of the mother's eyes. I don't recall the other one. She was black. She was saying, so their daughter, daughter, obviously, because she's transitioned, born a boy. She was saying that we were not listening to our kid.
Yeah,
She was telling us since childhood that she does not feel like a boy, like she wants to be a girl.
yeah,
And the only thing I'm telling you right now is that not that I believe the story in its entirety, but
yeah.
it seems to be you hear these parents who emphatically and really seem to be genuine in their conversations, what the conversations they've had with their children and how their relationships have changed since allowing their children to transition.
Yeah.
Where do you place that, like in your scale of like how you make your mind, I guess, about these issues? Because that mothers seem to be really, really, for me at least,
Genuine.
telling the truth. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not saying there's not cases out there, because like there's people who I think that are very genuine, like Blair White. I think Blair White's genuine.
I don't think I know who that is.
Very
A trans?
famous. Yeah. She's conservative though.
So is that male to female?
Yeah, male to female.
Hmm.
So Blair White, and Caitlyn Jenner. I'm kind of on the fence on Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah.
On whether or not I think it's genuine or not.
Good. I'm glad you qualified, because I thought it was like whether or not she was.
Well, I
hot or
mean,
something.
because like he was, Bruce Jenner was super popular in the 90s.
Yeah.
He's an Olympic gold medalist, like swimmer. So it was like, boom. Then he was out of the limelight. No one gave a crap about him. Michael Phelps came in. Boom.
He seems to be. You
Yeah.
think it's a way to get
And
back
then,
in the track.
then he was on the Kardashian show, right? And then that no one cared about the Kardashians anymore. It's like, it's Kardashians. And now it's like, well, I want to be famous again. Like, what do you do, right? Famous thing, like, got to do something bombastic. So I mean, she might be genuine, but I don't know. I really don't know because I don't know. Like, celebrities do crazy stuff all the time to get attention.
Yeah.
So I really don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it comes down to either the medical science being the arbiter of what we do, and it needs to be an individual basis thing. And I think we have enough data right now, and we've seen enough cases out there to say, for you and I, and it seems although we agree on a couple things, I seem to be slightly more progressive on this issue. But when it comes to Dylan Mulvaney, we're both saying, just stop it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, look, got a deal from Ulta Beauty.
Yeah.
Like, and Nike sports bra. He's wearing a sports bra. Why? You have nothing to support.
Yeah.
That's the point of a bra. It's for support.
Yeah.
Why are you wearing a sports bra? I mean, wear what you want, but I mean, like, why?
Yeah, that is interesting.
Because my point is, like, and a lot of people can't answer these questions, right? So if being transgender is
show
like,
us your breasts,
no,
or don't talk about your breasts. Is what you're saying, though.
No. So they say it's mentally. You don't like your gender is a mental thing, right? Then why do you need to transition your body, especially if there's more than one gender out there, right? Because that's the argument now. Is like there's infinite amount of genders,
hundreds,
infinite amount.
Yep.
So it's like if the external, like the female body, is not what a woman is, then why do you need to transition into the female body? Why do you have to wear quote unquote girl clothes, right?
Yeah,
if that's not what it is, why can't you just walk around the way you were, but just be quote unquote a woman? But no one can answer that question.
Absolutely.
It's like, why do you need to do all this expensive surgery? And why do you want the state to pay for it? Because that is happening in some states. They are paying out of taxpayer money.
Let me guess, California.
No, actually, no. No.
Interesting.
I think it was Missouri.
Of all places, Missouri?
Yeah. It was weird. It was a weird. It threw me off because like, is it California? Is it Colorado?
Well,
no, it was like Missouri or something like that. I need to go back and look at it. Don't quote me on that.
Sure.
I got to go back and look into that.
Yeah.
But there was one state that was like paying, like out of taxpayer money.
That seems crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
And like the fact that you can go as like in not all states as a underage teen to Planned Parenthood and they'll give you testosterone. That's crazy without parental consent. Yeah. That's nuts.
Children who we've deemed not mature enough to drive a car should not be allowed to.
Well, I mean, your brain's
decisions.
not fully developed till your mid-20s.
23, 24.
Yeah. You don't, like, hell, I didn't know who the hell I was till I was like 28. I'm like, that's who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know.
I still have foggy days.
Yeah. It's like, is that me?
Yeah.
I mean, it takes time to figure out who you are.
Correct.
Like, everybody feels awkward all the time, especially growing up, especially in your teen years.
Yeah.
I was tall and skinny. I felt awkward all the fucking time.
And imagine if there was an echo chamber telling you, oh, you feel this way because you're this way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm glad the internet wasn't as prominent then as it is now.
Yeah, you're dating yourself right now. But
I'm dating myself.
You're like back in the Morse code days. Nobody could tell me I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Something I wanted to tell you escapes me. But to be fair to Kendall Jenner, who's Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner.
Well, he legally changed his name, so
correct. I mean, there are some sus things like the fact that he's still interested in girls.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not obviously conflating sexual interest.
Another thing.
Did I open another can of worms?
No, this just popped in my head.
Yeah.
That these trans women do.
Mm-hmm.
They they go to the extents to simulating periods. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, Dylan Mulvaney himself carries around tampons.
Well, no. Like,
oh, you mean the cramps?
No, not just that. They do to simulate bleeding.
Oh, God.
So it's kind of gross. So what they will do is they'll take tubes and they'll fill it with spaghetti sauce and they'll freeze it, and then they will rectally insert it and then wait for it to thaw, and we'll wear like a pad, and they're like, "Oh, I'm bleeding." It was like a trend for a while. I don't know if people are still doing it, but it was like, it's like, why do you want to simulate having a period?
Yeah,
for one, like if you get to be a woman and not have that, it seems great because women seem miserable on that stuff. So it's like, why would you want to be simulate something that looks miserable? Because I mean, growing up with my mom and my sister, oh my God, it was a nightmare. The cramps and the rage.
No, don't forget, we want to be on the good side of your mama, so don't say anything disparaging.
The cramps in my mom's rage, where she'd beat me with a broom.
Yeah, but it's just for everyone listening, I'm pretty sure that that is an exaggeration. Yeah, that's insane. Like, my attachment to psychiatry with a mere 3 months, but I would go out on the limb and say that is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is, and like the fact that he thinks he can get pregnant.
Yeah.
But you can't get pregnant.
Now you see, this is my fear though. You and I essentially are deservedly ridiculing these people.
Yes.
But I really, really can't, because I want to extend the courtesy of maybe sympathizing with someone who genuinely feels like they're in the wrong body and want to transition.
Yeah, but I can't sympathize with Dylan Mulvaney.
Oh, yeah.
Like when he's being selected out of everybody else to go speak to Joe Biden.
That's crazy.
Out of everybody else about gender affirming surgery for children. For children.
Yeah, we have to be vocal against that kind of intervention.
I'm sorry, like there's not enough data out there to prove that this is successful. We haven't done this. This is a new thing.
Not only that, there is enough data in conventional medicine to suggest that we do not want to intervene at this time. Like it's already a known fact.
Yeah.
I don't think there's no mainstream rational scientist or researcher that says this is okay. I'm not
mainstream.
Mainstream science. Mainstream scientists?
No, yeah, because they don't want to. They don't want to be ridiculed. The scientists who are working behind the scenes, who are not talking about it, absolutely, they're probably saying the same thing as you are.
It's like the bell curve
controversy. I mean, did you see Matt Walsh's "What is a Woman"?
Correct.
He went and spoke with a bunch of doctors.
Yeah,
a bunch of doctors.
Yeah,
like, and they all, for one, they couldn't answer the question. Nobody could answer the question. What is a woman? Like, if we're going to define things, we have to have an objective definition for what things are. Woman, man. Like, most things have objective realities.
Yeah.
Definitions are not subjective to what you want them to be.
Correct. Especially something that is grounded in biology as sex.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, because homosexuality exists out in nature. There are some species that are homosexual.
Yeah.
So I can attest to that. Like, I can concede that point.
Okay.
But there's no such thing as transgenderism in nature.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. Like, giraffes seem sketchy to me.
Yeah.
Some of them act wildly. But yes, I think you're speaking truth when you say that. But as always, I always worry about us sort of this discussion's just swinging the pendulum the other way, and maybe a society that ends up being oppressive.
It is, but I think so. I think the pendulum is so far to the left,
correct,
that if it overswings, it's gonna end just back in the center.
You think so?
That's where I think it's gonna end, because we're it's so far up here
out there,
that if we overcorrect, it's just gonna end in the center, which I think that's where we need to be. All right, because like growing up, like the left was the side of free speech, was the side of tolerance for everybody's ideas. Correct. So everybody is allowed to speak. Yeah. But now on the left, if you have an opposing viewpoint, you can't talk.
Axed.
You gotta shut up and fall in line. That's like where the ideology lies on like the mainstream side of it. So like, I mean, because you can look back at when Twitter was owned by before pre-Elon Musk.
Yeah.
they like conservatives and people who had an opposing viewpoint were banned all the time. I was banned. I didn't speak a lot on Twitter, but my account was banned.
You want to remind me what happened then?
So
because it didn't seem
it was
super
stupid.
benign issue.
Yeah. So we're talking about Last of Us 2.
It's like, recently though. So you're referring to the game?
The game,
Okay.
Last of Us 2. So it was like a couple years ago.
Okay.
I think. So I was talking about it. I was like, I don't think the story's that good. I can't knock out the gameplay or the graphics. Gameplay is the same as the first game.
Yeah.
The graphics look awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, it's a great game because of that. I you know me, I love story.
Yeah.
I don't think the story was good.
You're the story guy.
Yeah, I'm a story guy. So I don't think the story was good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I didn't like the story. And some guy was talking to me, and then what I assumed to be a woman quoted, it was like, I didn't like the story
like
either.
That. You were going so good. So.
I know.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it was female picture,
okay.
long hair.
Okay.
And then they
could be trans. Though.
Yeah. Yeah. But I was like, see, she gets it. She goes, I'm non-binary. I'm a they, them. And the point I brought up is, and this is a good thinking thing, because I don't need anybody to affirm that I'm a man.
Yeah.
I know I'm a man. To be trans, you need other people to affirm that for you, that you are a woman. You need outside validation, right? Because that's what it seems to be. Like, you need other people to validate that you're a woman or you're a man as a trans person. Because if you just say you're a woman, that's not good enough for them to just say it for themselves. They need to have other people validate it.
They appear to seek that.
And so that is the question I pose. It's like, does it make it not real for you if other people don't agree that you are non-binary or that they use your pronouns?
Don't participate in the pronoun game and stuff like that.
It's like, and I was like, to what extent do I need to participate in your self-identity? Because I don't need people to participate in my identity. Don't care.
To sort of affirm your masculinity.
Yeah, to affirm my masculinity.
Yeah.
Don't need that affirmed.
Yeah.
So my point being, and then that's what I asked. I was a little bit bombastic. I was like, so are you like Tinkerbell? If I don't believe in you, then you don't exist. So I was a little bit bombastic with it. And then I got banned. I got banned instantly. No warning. Banned.
That's unusual. They usually give you a strike.
No strike. I had no strikes on my account because I didn't engage very often because I just used it to follow video games like Nintendo Direct and stuff like that. See when stuff was coming out. So that's what I used it for, and some streamers and some YouTubers and stuff I followed. Yeah. Like, this is like one of the rare times I engaged on Twitter, and I got banned.
That's incredible.
But Papa Musk brought the account back.
Yeah. Well, thank you for Papa Musk.
Yeah.
I seem to be a close follower of his endeavors in space.
Oh yeah, dude. He's one of the greatest men of our time. Like hands down. He's doing so much stuff. Yeah. Like, that guy's life has to be so stressful. I would not want to be him.
He says it himself. He says nobody wants to be me.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't want to be Elon Musk. Am I grateful for all the things he's doing? Yeah. Absolutely. Except for Neuralink. But we'll get into that another time. I think Neuralink's scary.
Yeah. You getting banned for that is incredible.
It's ridiculous. I like, other people got warnings and stuff. It's like, there's a guy who threatened kids' lives on Twitter. He wanted their addresses and he wanted people to kill them. Like, literally put out a threat. He got a 2-day suspension. Again, he wasn't a big account or anything like that. Yeah. But I mean,
I'm glad
that's
that
ridiculous.
Kind of indiscriminate banning has been rectified.
Oh yes, it's awesome.
Elon's regime.
Did you? Little segue here, but did you see all the like journalists and celebrities cry because their blue check marks got taken away?
And then you'd be surprised to learn on that development, they actually got more pissy because he gave it to them back. You know why? Because they're like, this implies that we're now paying for our blue check. We did not. So everybody was just running to their, and I'm not on Twitter, but I'd listen to obviously the news, and they're like, I want to unequivocally make clear that I did not pay the $8 that Elon asked me. Some of them like being absolutely like crazy.
Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
funny. I didn't see that. That's
That is
funny.
the current thing about that. That's the
That's
weird
funny.
twist.
I just
to that
saw
saga.
what's your Alyssa Milano
Yeah.
just throwing a temper tantrum about like she's complaining about $8.
Yeah.
So you're a freaking billionaire.
I think he gave them the
A
blue check
millionaire.
mark. But I don't know if that was planned. But if it is, it's
funny.
It's
Dude,
master
well,
trolling.
I mean, Elon
it's-
Musk is playing 4D chess, man. He's
I
like,
hope so. He's not been kind to
17
my Tesla.
He's like
shares,
17
but-
moves ahead of everybody.
Yeah, but just to get back to the thing that we were talking about, and we pivoted off of you getting banned for making that, which
Yeah.
seems to me a really benign and rational commentary.
Yeah. Well,
on
that's
that
the thing.
latest
If you
position.
push back even the slightest on
Yeah.
it, that's it. That's an aggress on them
Yeah.
because they conflate speech with violence.
Yeah, and one thing that really perplexes me is how much of your personality is your gender identity. How
Very
could it be?
little.
How could it be the most
Very little, man.
dominant issue
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
we
like-
have to talk about it day in day out? Like for example, people that are in the activist zone,
Yeah.
in that space.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do besides that?
Nothing.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, they don't do anything because this is what I think the big problem is
Mm-hmm.
because all these kids, right? They grow up and they hear about all these big movements that have gone throughout history,
Mm-hmm.
and especially our history because
Yeah.
we've had a lot of things go on in the U.S. in our short time of existing as a country.
Yeah.
They're bored. I think that's a big part of it. Life is too easy at this point.
Yeah.
Like, there's no big fight to fight for, so they
Mhm.
have to create a problem.
No existential threat.
Yeah. So they have to
No
create a problem.
test.
There's no big movement to fight for. There's no anything, so they have to. I mean,
What is in
I
the
mean,
zei-
because they want
what is in
everybody
the zeitgeist right now
Yeah.
is being an influencer.
exactly, and that's another thing. It's like everybody wants to be famous.
Mm.
Everybody wants to be famous.
Yeah, which is not what we want to do with this podcast.
No, absolutely.
So we're
not.
going to cap the listener at 250,000.
Yeah, 50,000. That's it, guys. If you're 5,001,
You're
get
out.
out of here.
Yeah, and I know I kept talking about the pendulum.
No,
and stuff,
like
but
this-
this is why I'm going to
yeah.
join you in condemning what Dylan Mulvaney is doing,
Yeah.
because that is
I'm
clearly.
sorry, sir. You have to call him Mr. Vaney.
was that what he said?
Well, no, because you can't. Well, on YouTube, you can't say Dylan Mulvaney.
Oh, okay. She.
Uh,
would that suffice?
Yeah.
The-
So yeah, and that's another thing, man. I've never seen any corporation go to the extent that it does to protect one person, where
Mm.
you cannot say Dylan Mulvaney's name on YouTube. You cannot say his name, or you are demonetized. Demonetized. So if you're a YouTuber and that is your only source of income, and you talk about anything that's going on currently,
Yeah.
you can't talk about him because
And you don't have to be a free speech absolutist to
Yeah.
see how absurd that is.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not a like in the terms of absolutist.
Yeah.
I'm not like that because like I don't think people should be able to threaten one another. We have laws
Correct.
against that.
Yeah.
Like because a free speech absolutist would say you can threaten people,
Yeah.
and but like yeah. So there's laws against that. I'm for that, but I'm
Mm.
for free speech. Like if we can't say what we want to say,
Yeah.
that's like one step. That's fascism for one. They want to say Donald Trump was a fascist.
Yeah.
Like, what did he do that was fascist? He didn't silence any news media
Yeah.
outlets, even the ones that were heavily criticized, CNN. If
Yeah.
like, he was a fascist, he would have shut that down. Even Abraham Lincoln, he shut down the press. He did a fascist thing during the Civil War because he was getting negative press.
Mm-hmm.
So he silenced the press.
I was not
But
aware
he's
of that
still
history.
considered one of the greatest presidents of all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, that word gets thrown around.
Yeah.
Like it's Sunday.
Yeah, like fascism
shouldn't
and,
be,
and
yeah.
being called a Nazi.
Yeah.
I mean, crap! When I shaved my head, I got called a white supremacist because I was bearded and balded. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm balding. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My hair fell out.
Yeah.
I'm old.
Interesting. Yeah. You being called So you see, it's a good thing though. We let these people talk.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Stop censoring people.
Yeah.
Because if it's a genuinely a bad idea, sunlight is the best disinfectant.
Yeah.
Let people hear it,
Yeah.
so that way people know who to avoid. If it really is that bad of an idea, right? Like Alex Jones, I don't think Alex Jones should have been banned off any platforms.
Yeah.
Like if he's saying bad things, let him talk. Boom! It's like flat earthers. Let them talk. Now we know to avoid flat earthers.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, until we got to the point with the shooting that he was denying. I forget the
the Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yes,
but he was
absolutely.
held accountable.
Yeah, he was
in
held
the court of law,
accountable.
yeah.
Which I don't want to really get into it. I
Yeah.
don't think it was 100% fair. But
You mean the punishment that he received?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know the details of the facts.
Well, I mean,
to
it's
comment
because
either way.
it's warrant on people who create content now that they have to control their fan base pretty much. So you can't control what individuals do just because they hear something you say.
And I think we've talked about this where it would be super hard for prosecutors to show a direct connection
I
between
know.
what he said
That's
and-
why I don't really think it was fair. Like, yeah, it was a bad take. It really was a bad take because I mean it absolutely happened.
Yeah, you know what would be a good taste, like a litmus test for
Alex Jones, come on the podcast.
no, but somebody should put his face on a
He lives
can
in
of
Texas,
something.
I think.
Yeah.
Alex Jones, yeah.
Well, yeah, he's in Austin.
Yeah.
I believe his studio is in Austin.
Yeah,
Is that not true?
Yeah, Alex, come on.
Yeah. Well, he will never come on this.
No,
but
absolutely
if he
not.
does-
Absolutely, yeah, he absolutely wouldn't.
Yeah, that's interesting. I
Yeah, just come on and clear the air, Alex. Come on.
Los Angeles. I like that how you make that pledge. He might have fallen on hard times that he might consider this.
Yeah. He
Like
scraped
on
by on the
episode
barely
23 or something.
episode 3 of the Barely podcast. Alex
Yeah.
Jones,
barely Alex though.
barely Alex Jones.
we should order one from Wish.
Yeah.
Interesting though, the backlash against Bud Light.
Oh,
I'm not.
not. I don't think it's that interesting, to be honest with you. I think people are just tired of having like this stuff pushed on them. Like, look what happened with Gillette. Do you remember that? Okay, so back during the Me Too, when Me Too was like really huge.
Yeah.
I think it was when Kavanaugh, around the time Kavanaugh was being like going in for Supreme Court justice. Yeah. And he was under that trial.
Yeah.
Gillette put out a commercial
I hear it.
because Gillette's slogan used to be Gillette, the best a man can get. They changed their slogan to
Person can get.
Gillette, men do better. So it's like, who do you think buy your razors, man?
Yeah.
Men buy your razors.
To be
So
fair,
you're going
some
to-
women, but women though, not claiming to be men.
Yeah.
Some women do prefer to buy it.
Yeah, but I mean, the
They're
majority
inclusive.
of your
I understand.
consumer base is men.
Yeah.
So it's like,
You didn't need to tamper with that slogan,
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
I
which is
gotta
fair.
say, companies stay apolitical, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, just sell your product.
Yeah.
Stop joining all these causes because you don't aim to get anything from it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't understand why people go crazy when people put pride flags on everything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you guys, there's only one color on that rainbow that they care about, and it's green. They don't care about the rest of the colors. They don't care about your movement. They care about the money that you're gonna give them.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
You sounded like a Steven Crowder just then.
Yeah, well, I mean, literally though, dude, they don't care. They're just like, yeah, we'll put. It's just like when like breast cancer month comes out and they make everything pink. They literally don't care about the cause.
Yeah.
They just like, oh, people
It's
will
virtue
buy
signaling all day.
Yeah,
For sure.
It's all virtue signaling.
Yeah.
Like if we like, and this is showing it, right? We stop giving them their money.
Yeah.
Vote with your dollar. Stop giving your money to people who hate you. Literally it. Stop giving money to people who hate you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a really something that would vary vastly from your position at the end of the day. Like as a conclusion, I just would caution against people completely doing away with extending some level of courtesy, some agnosticism when it comes to.
But we have though.
For sure we have. It's just that the frustration with this.
Yeah, we're just pushed to the point, man. Like we, out of all the countries, man, don't you think we're a very tolerant country?
Of course.
For the most part.
Yes.
like, I mean, yes,
And I'm
there are
qualified to
some
answer this
intolerant.
because I'm from
yeah.
Ethiopia.
Like we're a pretty tolerant country. We accept a lot of
Correct.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like we just go with it. We're like, oh, okay, yeah. For the longest time, like people would just be like, okay, yeah, you're a woman, even though you have a beard and
Yeah.
you look like Macho Man Randy Savage. Yeah, you're a woman,
But you
and we
only-
just go with it.
Yeah.
But it's just to the point where it's just like you're telling me the sky's green.
Yeah. Or you demand you call me Zemzer.
Yeah.
Or something.
And then you demand me to say that the sky is green.
Correct.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, man.
Yeah, I think that's the fair criticism to the current to the contemporary movement that is trans movement. I think it's pushed
And that
every rational thinker
Yeah.
to your position, which I largely share, to be honest.
I mean, like live your life. Like if you want to call yourself a woman, call yourself a woman.
Yeah.
Don't force other people to say that you are.
Correct.
Like, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings,
Yeah.
but
Are you familiar with Mr. Beast on YouTube?
yes, about his
Chris?
co-host Chris. Yeah.
Yeah.
Different Chris, guys. Different Chris.
Yeah. I don't see you transitioning, honestly.
No, never. No.
If you transition, that would make a believer out of me.
Yeah.
Like I would
Well,
be like, it's not
like-
gender dysphoria. This
Like
thing is
I'm
real.
very
Because it got me. It got my Chris.
Yeah. I've never been more secure in the person I am than I am today. Like
And
in my
you'd-
20s,
Yeah.
in my 20s I was lost. I didn't know who I was. I didn't want to know what I want to do. I was strained wildly everywhere. Like mentally. Not on the sexual spectrum, just
Got
as
it.
a person.
But you
Like,
you
I've
can
always-
you can easily see someone like you who's
Yeah.
disenfranchised or like
Oh,
slightly
yeah.
feeling confused about certain
Yeah,
things.
especially now.
Could
Like
be
if you're a
swayed
straight
either way.
white man,
Yeah.
like you are we're not oppressed.
A
I'm just
target.
gonna tell you that now. We're not oppressed, but we're targeted in a lot of things.
Yeah.
We don't have a voice because they did this in Occupy Wall Street.
Mm.
I don't know if you know about that. So it happened, I think, around 2012. It was
Mhm.
under the Obama administration,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody was on Wall Street and they were winning. Like the boycotts were winning,
Mm-hmm.
and then this is where I first saw the implementation of identity politics being implemented because they were, and these are from people who were on the ground there. If you were straight and white and a man, you could not speak before anybody else, even if your idea was good, because you had an oppression line you had to follow.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you were gay, trans, black, Asian, Hispanic,
Mm.
stuff like that, you were front of the line pretty much to speak.
Wow.
So it was by an oppression line. Like this.
Mm.
Hey, I'm sorry, no one here's like oppressed.
Yeah. No, I can.
Hey, you want to see oppression? Go to China. Go to the Uyghur concentration camps.
Mhm.
Go see the oppression there.
Yeah,
Then you'll be like,
People
I have
do
it pretty
take-
good.
Yeah, I'm good here. I'm going back home.
Yeah.
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 No. There's
Those
a
guys
lot
have
of
it so
truth in
bad
that.
they can't even kill themselves
Mm.
because they're housed up next to cliffs, but they have suicide nets,
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
so they can't even.
Where our phones
they
are made.
Death. Yeah, that's where our phones are made.
Death is not even an escape.
That's where our microphones are made.
Yeah.
They can't even get the sweet release of death
Mm.
to get away from that.
Yeah, people do take for granted the individual freedom
Yeah.
that we enjoy here in America.
Yeah, if you
And
you think it's so bad here. This country is not bad. Go someplace else.
I think the thing that you said earlier, which is boredom,
Yeah,
the lack of
I think
something to
that's,
struggle to,
Yeah, I think that's
feeling entitled for everything that everybody's
yeah,
given.
that's another thing.
Entitlement is a big
man.
issue in this country, I think.
Oh my god, entitlement. Like I just deserve because I exist.
Mm.
No, you don't. You
Yeah.
have to work.
Yeah.
Everybody has to work. Like I'm gonna tell you right now. Like I'm from we were poor when I was growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and my family had to struggle from nothing to get where we are. We lived in a single wide trailer with no insulation, with no heat during the winter, most winters because we'd run out of gas. Everything in upstate New York, everything operates off gas.
Mm.
So we had no gas. There's nothing against my parents. We just didn't have the money. Like we were struggling. We would sit there and we would freeze. We would huddle in the living room in jackets, snowsuits, and under blankets to keep warm, because that's what we had to do. Like, and that's
that teaches you character, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Because now I appreciate everything I have.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I have, I earned.
Yeah.
I didn't get it off the backs of anybody else. It wasn't handed to me. I earned everything.
You're not going to throw a fit because someone misgendered you.
No.
No.
Be grateful for what you have.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really good positive message to almost conclude this episode on.
Yeah.
It's always concerning to me when people want to push their agenda on either ideological spectrum.
Yeah, like I'm not pushing my agenda.
No,
this
you're
is just
not.
my thoughts. Like you
Correct.
can you're absolutely more than welcome to disagree with me.
No. I think most people would agree with you. I think most rational people would say our positions today and our reactions to Dylan Mulvaney is
Mr. Vaney, sir.
Mr. Vaney is grounded in facts because it's
well, yeah,
getting
I mean,
outrageous.
Like, I mean, because I did the research on the guy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about the Price is Right thing till recently, but I saw him on.
Told me,
I saw him on the Price is Right. I was like, what the hell?
It's like he tried.
Yeah, he
a
tried
bunch of things
everything
until what stuck.
until one. Yeah, he threw like a bunch of things at the wall, and the one thing that stuck was they want to be in a girl, and then he just wrote it.
How is not a satire though?
Huh?
Like how is someone
I think it
coming
was.
out and
I
saying,
think it
"Oh,
was
day two," and then trying to be genuine, like
I
not a
think
satire.
it was. I think it
You think
was
it was?
genuinely at first satire.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was at first, but then he got so much praise for it, he had to keep going. And I think even the hiking heels thing was satire, but then he just kept getting more praise. So then he got accepted into that community,
Yeah.
and then he's just like, well, gotta go with it.
This-
and he gets
this
the
seems
feminine
to be the
facial
way, yeah.
surgery, and now he's an advocate for trans rights, whatever those are.
He's got Drew Barrymore like
Now, everybody
on her knees.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was ridiculous. Lost a lot of respect that day.
Yeah, she should have stuck to
Yeah.
making bad movies.
Yeah.
Some occasionally good movies.
Yeah. Hey, I like 50 First Dates, dude.
Yeah, you might be a little queer sometimes. I think
Somewhat.
that is the queerest movie ever, dude. Are you queer baiting right now, Chris?
Yeah, just a little bit.
You maybe are. Yeah, and then it worries me that some companies would endorse this kind of movement, but then it seems to be that lady that got
yeah,
fired.
of course they are, because they think they're
is-
gonna get mad.
It was like a decision on her department. It seems to come down to her.
Well,
her
they
head.
put the head of global
Yeah.
like marketing in her job. He took over for
Good.
localization for Bud Light.
Because it worries me. Like it worries me. What kind of signal are they receiving from the society, from
Yeah.
everyone
Well, yeah, we're
to
just
go
like
in this
done.
kind of
And
marketing?
like, there's
path?
even women burning Nike sports bras now.
Yeah.
Like they're done with being pandered to.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't know anything about the actual female needs.
Yeah.
He doesn't know anything about it. So it's like he's supported by Tampax.
Mm. Is that a
He
tampon brand?
yeah.
Okay.
He can't have periods. Why are you
You don't know that. Don't say.
I'm sorry, I do.
What,
I
is
do
it?
know that.
Are you sure it's a sauce, like a marinara sauce? It could be something else. You never
Oh my
know.
God. Well, I saw the videos of it. It could have been like ketchup or something, but it looked like
Oh,
marinara
God,
sauce.
I've heard that from you for the first time. And that's insane.
Yeah, it is, man. It's insane.
And I would wager
And
the
gross.
sauce is not the right thing
And
to go.
gross, man.
Yeah.
Ugh.
There is a thing called man's period.
Yeah,
It's-
I don't really think there is one, man.
No, it's not. It's not. It's like a medical thing, but it's literally a
Yeah.
parasite that goes up your urethra because you.
Oh
you
yeah,
swam in
yeah.
a,
You told
in
me
a bad
about
river.
that. Yeah, you told me about that. Yeah, but that's not a natural occurring thing.
I know. I'm saying
Yeah,
they
yeah.
should go to that place
Yeah.
and get
Yeah,
one of
then
those
you can-
parasites.
then you can
Swim
get
up
your
their
period.
dingo, you know.
Yeah, then you get your period. Don't even say that, man, because now people will go do that.
No, I'm saying I might
I-
make it a believable story. You know.
Well,
good arc.
I mean, but
You're the story
seriously,
guy.
people will do that. I mean, you remember the Tide Pod challenge?
Yeah, people will.
People
do anything
eating
and-
Tide Pods, man.
Mm. Yeah, they do seem pretty squishy though. Have you ever
Yeah.
held a Tide Pod in your hand?
Yes, Yes, I've had a Tide Pod. I don't want to
You've
put it
never
in my
had that
mouth.
intrusive thought of
No.
just put it in your mouth.
No.
Come on.
No. That's,
Come on.
I'm like,
You're not
this
being
has
funny.
toxic chemicals in it.
No, I think sometimes I've thought about it, and that thing looks delicious.
It looks
And I'm not
delicious.
encouraging you.
It looks like jelly.
Yeah. And
Tide Pod Challenge 2.0.
That's what we're. So yeah, this show was about that one. Is we're jump starting that challenge again.
We gotta bring it back. Let's bring back planking, guys.
No planking. Everybody just go. Right
Do you
off
remember
this and
that?
just go eat a Tide Pod is
Do you-
what we're saying.
Do you remember that
What?
planking?
Like the exercise?
No.
Planking?
Yeah, it was like a trend, like in the early 2000s, where people would just lay on weird objects, like and act like stiff as a
I
board.
remember that. Oh my god, I do. I was like in high school, dude. Oh my god. How did you
It
remember
was
that?
stupid.
Yeah, but isn't that the most like safest thing to do, right? Compared to
No,
what
people
kids
were
are
doing it in the most dangerous place.
Yeah.
They were doing it on the sides of tall buildings. They had to stop. They had to start locking roofs because
Yeah.
a couple people died planking.
I think it's still better than lick the toilet seat challenge.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. Man, no, all these challenges are dumb.
Listen
The only
to me.
challenge that I ever saw that was like kind of reasonable was like the ice bucket challenge. Just dumping a
Uh-huh,
bucket
yeah.
of cold water on.
And then they
yourself.
made it immediately PC, so
Yeah.
it got bad. But we
Yeah.
need to start a challenge. If you
Yeah.
want to enter the zeitgeist and
Yeah.
make this podcast
Yeah.
popular, you need to brainstorm. buddy.
What's he gonna do? The wear a beanie challenge. It's really hard. It's really hard to do.
Yeah.
You got to buy a beanie for one. You have to buy one. I know, guys. It's that cost to you.
Yeah.
And then you have to wear it. You have to put it on your head.
I wonder if that's going to be as compelling as the.
It is.
Tide
It is. It is, Teddy. Especially when
you
we
want
put
everybody
out
to look like
our
you is what I'm doing.
merchandise, barely a beanie, and you can all join. You can join the beanie brigade.
You know what that would be? What's the thing that Jews wear?
The yarmulke.
That's a barely
Barely a beanie.
barely a beanie.
Yeah.
It's a yarmulke.
Well,
That's the brand of yarmulke that's gonna come
Yeah.
out of this
barely a
podcast.
beanie.
It
Baby
was
beanie.
lovely to talk to you, Chris.
Yeah,
as always.
Always is, man.
It was lovely to have your amazing wife quietly listen to us and giggle at times.
She's over there snickering.
Yeah. Where can people listen to this podcast? by the way?
We have it up on Spotify. I think it's on Amazon Music as well.
Mhm.
And then you can follow us on Twitter at @abarelypodcast. We got a Facebook and an Instagram coming soon. Where Dylan is gonna put it on blast on Instagram.
Oh, cool.
But he said we
Recommended
should
him.
because he's more into the social media than I am.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, you need to get an Instagram and a Facebook. I was just like, fine.
So I gotta be in a swim like
Speedo.
bikinis and swim.
Speedo.
For this episode, it's gotta be bikini. Well,
Okay.
thank you for coming out.
Yeah, it's always
it
good.
was lovely.
Thanks for everybody who's listened.
Yes, sir. See you next week, buddy.
Next week, man.
All right.
Same time.
Of course.